The Boys has a new spinoff, Gen V. So today I thought it was time for me to stop and talk about Gen V. Please know that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion. You're free to comment down below. What did you think of Gen V? With that being said, please don't forget to check out that Twitter. That link is in the description. And also the Boys seasons ranking that I did a year ago is in the link in the description as well. Come back later for the Boys universe ranked from the worst to the best. To whatever point of the video that you want to watch, the time codes are in the description as well. With all of that out of the way, like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get right into our review. When they first announced this show 3 years ago, I was as skeptical as anyone. I thought it wasn't going to be that great, and I just thought that this was the wrong thing to do with The Boys. The Boys itself was just great. Why do we need a spinoff? But with that being said, let's move right into the good. And the good thing that comes to mind here is that from the start, Gen V just encapsulates everything the Boys universe promised, but from the perspective of the first generation that knows that they were shot up with a power-enhancing drug. I think that's very interesting because whereas the other generations felt as though they were a gift from God, these teenagers know that their parents shot them up with this drug as a baby, so they kind of have some resentment towards their family, and others feel like they're a freak of nature. And with this enhancing drug, it also comes with side effects. The backdrop of a college lines up exactly with my life because I am in college now. And with this college background, it offers a different environment than the crummy basements the Boys often show. We are introduced to a slew of new characters that all have their own secrets, but are all a joy to be around. And in my opinion, I really love these characters. Like, I can't think of one new character that I just hate. This show is literally following all suits, so we can kind of strip away the vulnerability and just have super powered like arguments, super powered fights, and it's exhilarating, all of it. But it wouldn't have mattered if we didn't care about the characters. I think my favorite character inside of the show is Jordan. He is a character that can shapeshift between male and female, and each gender have their own superpowers. And also they are an allegory for trans, and they even show that inside of the show. Even Cricket's power is an allegory for an eating disorder. While it may seem cool to shrink down to the size of an ant or grow big as a tower, inside of the show, they make you think that maybe you don't want superpowers. But I also love the fact that the writing never made the characters feel unlikable at all. The best thing about this show is that while it continues the filthy with penises blowing up all over the place, we also have an intriguing story about the Woods and the school experimenting on Soups to construct of a virus to kill Soups, connecting directly to the Boys. In fact, the Dean of God U, a character that we originally thought was a villain, she kind of connects to our The Boys characters a bit. So it kind of adds some more layers to this story. And while this story is intriguing, they take it to another level with the students feeling they are superior and some Soups just wanting to be good people, making us feel empathy for this generation of Soups. One thing about Gen V is that while they do kill with their own struggles, inherently they are still children given a gift they never truly asked for, and that makes them vulnerable in and of themselves. I love the fact that the events of The Boys seasons 1 through 3 looms over this entire season, and especially things that happen in season 3 with Homelander killing that one guy with his son at the end of the season. It kind of leads directly into this, and characters from The Boys pop up, but it makes sense why they're there. So while it does connect to The Boys universe, it is also its own thing, but it also lays the groundwork for you to care about these super-powered characters by making them vulnerable. And since they are the first generation that knows that they were pumped up with Compound V, it makes them a whole lot more interesting. But the bad thing that comes to mind here is that I know this show is supposed to lead into season 4 of The Boys, and then season 4 of The Boys will lead right into season 2, and this finale does that. It does what it promised. The people behind the show promised that it was going to lead into The Boys season 4. I still feel like the finale didn't close off the story in a satisfying way. There are a lot of plot lines left dangling. Cricket now has the ability to shrink, but through her emotions. I wish we could have explored a little bit more of that, but that's okay, we can leave that for season 2. But also this soup versus soup war that we kind of introduced in the finale, I wish we could have kind of elaborated more on that in this season, or maybe just had this come to a close at the end of the season. I have nothing against cliffhangers because we've been having cliffhangers all this year in our films, but whereas with the films, they establish a story and then they close it off. They established the soup versus soup story in like episode 7. And then they kind of started to unravel it here in episode 8 and then cut it off there. From episodes 1 through 6, we were unraveling the mystery of the woods and all of it culminating into Shelly dying. But when it comes down to the soup versus soup war, I think that's such an interesting idea that maybe you guys should have saved that for season 2 or The Boys season 4. But again, I love this show. I just wish that they were able to tighten it up a little bit better by the end. And maybe I should have put this in the mix section, but I have no problem with F-bombs. The Boys has a lot of F-bombs as well. I feel as though this show kind of overdid it with the F-bombs a little bit. Like, every sentence had an F-bomb in it, which is fine. Like I said, it's like, it doesn't take me out of the show. It's just like, geez, like, do we have to have an F-bomb between every predicate? Like, do we have to have an F-bomb in every sentence that each of these characters say? But it doesn't at all take me out of the show. It's just something that I wanted to talk about. In conclusion, Gen V continues to explore this universe in a gory and filthy way, but also introduces characters that are way more likable than the boys, in my opinion. And I think that they are more likable than the boys because they're just wanting to be good people, whereas the boys are very bad people. I'm mainly looking at Butcher as an antagonist of his own. But I feel like in Gen V, even though they are soups, they feel very human. They have human connections and they have human struggles and problems. And like I said, while they are superpowered, they still feel very vulnerable by the end. And you feel empathy for them by the end. Is it better than the boys? No. But one thing about this show that is better is that it grasped me way quicker than The Boys did in season 1. I love The Boys. I loved season 3. It is the best comic book TV season of 2022. But Gen V is freaking awesome, man. I'm giving it an A+ and a 9.6 out of 10. And I would say definitely check this show out. Definitely watch it. Get hyped up for The Boys season 4. I can't wait to see how they tie these shows together between seasons. Alright guys, that is it for the review. Please know that everything that I did say in this video was just my very own opinion, and you're free to comment down below. What did you think of The Boys spinoff Gen V? Please don't forget to check out that Twitter. That link is in the description. You guys can also check out that ranking that I did of The Boys in the link in the description as well. With that being said, guys, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Peace.